Hello students, I welcome you all in the next lecture of Mathematics 1. This is revision lecture. We are revising chapter number 4, Ratio and Proportion. And in that we have started with practice set 4.3, and from that, from question number 4, we have completed question number 1 and 2. Second one I told you to solve by yourself. I hope you must have done it. Now we are moving towards third one. 2x plus 1 the whole square plus 2x minus 1 the whole square upon 2x plus 1 the whole square minus 2x minus 1 the whole square is equal to 17 upon 8. Here also, since we can see that the terms are same, only they are separated by the different sign, we can see componendo dividendo here. So we have to again go for componendo dividendo so that we can cancel certain terms from numerator and denominator. Okay, so we are doing componendo dividendo. So let us write down the step. See here, as I have said, write down the first bracket first, and in that both the places, numerator as well as denominator, you write down the terms which are present in numerator of the original ratio. Okay, that is 2x plus 1 the whole square plus 2x minus 1 the whole square, and the same two terms you copy down in the denominator also. Okay, so both the places numerator appeared, then plus and minus, and then denominator. Okay, so terms and denominators are written in the second bracket, both the places. See, 2x plus 1 the whole square minus 2x minus 1 the whole square, and here also the same bracket. We have done it on LHS, so we have to do on RHS also. So we have 17 plus 8, and down we have 17 minus 8. So here we can see that here 2x minus 1 the whole square is going to get cancelled because this is plus and this is minus. And in denominator, 2x plus 1 the whole square, that means the first term is going to get cancelled. So what we are going to get here is 2 times this 2x plus 1 the whole square, and down 2 times 2x minus 1 the whole square. And here 17 plus 8 is 25 and 17 minus 8 is 9. This 2 and 2 we can cancel from both the places. So here you can see squares are present. Also what we can observe is 25 and 9 both are perfect squares. That is why we can take square root on both the sides, and from that we will get the step as 2x plus 1 upon 2x minus 1 is equal to 5 upon 3. See, these two squares are cancelled because we have taken square roots, and 25, the square root is 5 and the square root of 9 is 3. Now we are going to go for cross multiplication here. Okay, so after doing cross multiplication, see, 3 into 2x is 6x and 3 into 1 is 3. Similarly here 2x into 5 is 10x and minus 1 into 5 is minus 5. Okay, now let us do the changes. Let us equate the like terms. So this 6x we can shift to RHS, and this minus 5 we can shift to LHS. So we will get it like this. 5 plus 3 is equal to 10x minus 6x. See, plus 6x has become minus here, and minus 5 has become plus when it is shifted on the other side. So see, 5 plus 3 is 8 and 10x minus 6x is 4x. So 4x is equal to 8 and therefore x is equal to 2. This is the value of x. That means x is equal to 2 is the solution of this given equation. Okay. So this way you are going to solve it. I told you that these questions are important. So please solve them, practice them. Now let us go towards next one, fourth question here, which is again different. Here square roots are present. Okay, so also observe here you will find that plus and minus sign. See, the terms are same. That means componendo dividendo we have to again go for. The step is exactly similar to third one. You are going to go for componendo dividendo. That means numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator. See, in first bracket both the places numerator plus and minus, and in the second bracket both the places we are writing denominator. Similar operation we are doing on RHS also. So 4 plus 1 upon 4 minus 1. So here you will observe that plus square root of x plus 3 and minus square root of x plus 3 will get cancelled. And in denominator, square root of 4x plus 1 and minus square root of 4x plus 1 will get cancelled. And then we can write down it as 2 times square root of 4x plus 1 divided by 2 times x plus 3. So these two terms are appeared 2 times. That is why we are adding 1 plus 1 and writing 2 here. 4 plus 1 is 5 and 4 minus 1 is 3. So this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Now see, in previous sum, squares were present. So we took square root. But now here square root is present, which we don't want. So to remove this square root, we have to square both the sides. Okay. In the previous case, we have taken square root. But now here, we have to square both the sides. So we can square both the sides here. And after squaring, the square root will get cancelled and we will get the radicand, that is 4x plus 1 in numerator and in denominator x plus 3. And square of 5 is 25 and square of 3 is 9. Okay, so since square root was present, to remove that we have squared both the sides. Okay, previously this question was given as homework. If you have not solved and if you want to solve it now, you can write it along with me. Okay, or you can pause the video, you can complete and then you can start the video again. Now the next step, we have to go for cross multiplication. So again go for cross multiplication. What you will get here, see, this 9 is shifted here. So 9 inside the bracket what was on the numerator, and here 25 is there here, so x plus 3 shifted here. Okay, so cross multiplication is done. Now 9 into 4, 36x, and 9 into 1 is 9. Similarly here 25 into x is 25x and 25 into 3 is 75. Let us equate the like terms now. So this 25x we will shift on LHS and this 9 we will shift on RHS. So we will get 36 minus 25x. This plus will become minus. And 75 minus 9. Again see this plus 9 when shifted to RHS, it became minus. So 36 minus 25. 11x we are going to get here. And 75 minus 9 is 66. So 11x is equal to 66. Therefore x is equal to 66 divided by 11. That is 6. Okay. So this is the answer. If you have not solved it previously, now you can solve it. You can copy it down. As I have said, you can pause the video and you can copy it. I am going towards the next question now. Question number 5. So this you can solve by yourself. Only the necessary changes I will give. Now this is of not type componendo dividendo. You will observe that the terms are not like in numerator and denominator. Instead it is different. But if you square this bracket 2x plus 3 the whole square using the formula a plus b the whole square, that is a square plus 2ab plus b square, then you will get these terms. See, 2x square is 4x square, 2 into 2x is 4x and 4x into 3 is 12x, means 2ab, and 3 square is 9. That means the denominator is expansion of this bracket. So in place of this expansion, we can write down that perfect square. See, so it will become 4x plus 1 the whole square plus 2x plus 3 the whole square upon 2x plus 3 the whole square. And here you will get 61 upon 36 as it is from up. Now see here, this is positive and this is also positive. And if we want to cancel it from numerator, then we have to go for dividendo. So you can make use of dividendo here, and then you will find that this bracket will get cancelled in the numerator. Okay. So what you will get, 4x plus 1 the whole square upon 2x plus 3 the whole square is equal to 25 upon 36. Okay. Now you can take square root and you can solve it. Okay. So let us take the square root on both the sides. So what we will get, 4x plus 1 upon 2x plus 3 and here square root of 25 upon 36 is 5 upon 6. Then you have to go for cross multiplication here. So 4x into 6 is 24x and 1 into 6 is 6. Similarly here 2x into 5 is 10x and 3 into 5 is 15. Let us change the sides, convert this now in the, so that you can equate the like terms. Okay, so conversion you should do. So 10x you shift to LHS and plus 6 you shift to RHS. So what you will get? 24x minus 10x is equal to 15 minus 6. So you will get 14x is equal to 9 and therefore x is equal to 9 upon 14. Okay, this way you can solve the sum. Only this step was different. You must understand that this is an expansion of this bracket and you can replace this expansion by this perfect square. Okay, so this was fifth question. Now the last question, sixth one, which is similar to that square one which we have done. So here what you can observe is plus and minus should be in numerator and denominator respectively, but here minus and plus is there. So first you have to go for invertendo, so that you will get plus in numerator and minus in denominator. And then by using the similar steps from the question number 3, that means by doing componendo dividendo and then by taking the cube roots, you can solve the sum. Okay, so this you can solve by yourself by using the same steps as we have done in question number 3. Okay, so I hope you will practice it for the exam purpose. Now let us go further. Here this activity is cancelled. Take a note of this. Then the next concept is theorem on equal ratios. An important concept which you are going to use in 10th standard also. So use this concept and always practice it and keep it in mind. What is theorem on equal ratios? Okay. So now what this theorem states is, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, that means we have taken only two ratios. So in that case, if we add the numerators in the numerator and if we add the denominators in the denominator, then this ratio is same as the original ratios. That means A upon B is same as A plus C upon B plus D, and it is same as C upon D. Okay, that means these three ratios are equal. That means we can add numerators in numerator and denominators in denominator, then that ratio remains same as the original ratio. This is called as what? Theorem on equal ratios or theorem of equal ratios. You can use any word, either on or of. Okay. Now this theorem is applicable to n number of ratios. That means if we have many ratios, but they should be finite, of course. It is not that they are infinite. You know that finite means they are going to end somewhere, like 5 ratios, 10 ratios, but it should be finite. Okay, so it is applicable to n number of ratios. Only thing is what? N should be finite. And secondly, we can expand it further, that if LMN are non-zero numbers, then to the first ratio we can multiply and divide by L. You know that we can multiply and divide the ratio by the same number. Here we are multiplying and dividing by M, and here we are multiplying and dividing by N. So after that also if we add, then also it is going to remain same. It is going to equal to the original ratio. Okay, so here also the term should be finite. So this is called as theorem on equal ratios. It's applicable to many ratios, n number of ratios. Only thing is what? The terms should be finite. They should end somewhere. It should not be infinite. Okay. Now let us see how to use this theorem in or to solve the problems. Okay. So practice set 4.4, and from that question number 1, fill in the blanks of the following. Here two questions are given. I am discussing first one. Second one you have to solve by yourself. Okay. So here you will observe that theorem on equal ratios we have to use. So how to use it? Let us see now. First of all, start with what is given to you. that is x upon 7 is equal to y upon 3. And here you have to observe that what changes are made. Here the term present is 3x. Okay, so here we want 3x. That means here we are multiplying by 3. So down also we have to multiply by 3. So first ratio we have to multiply by 3 both the places. So I have written 3 into x upon 3 into 7. And here I have 5y. So I have to multiply by 5 both the places here. So 5 into y and 5 into 3. Okay. Now if we apply the theorem on equal ratios here. See, x upon 7 is equal to y upon 3 is equal to 3x upon 21 is equal to 5y upon 15. And then we are applying the theorem on equal ratios. That means these two numerators we are adding and denominators also we are adding, but in denominator. Okay. So these two are added and these two are added. These are the original ratios which are going to remain same. So 21 plus 15, the answer is 36. This way we have found out the answer of first one. Similarly, we have to go for second one. So here also all the steps will be similar. You have to find 7 into x and 7 into 7, and here minus 9 into y and minus 9 into 3. Okay. So let us do that. See, you can see here x upon 7 is equal to y upon 3, and 7 into x and 7 into 7 is equal to minus 9 into y and minus 9 upon 3. You know that if the ratio is there, we can multiply and divide by the same number. So with that property we can use. You know that a upon b is same as ak upon bk. So that same constant number we are multiplying both the places. So we got the new ratios are as x upon 7 is equal to y upon 3. Here 7x upon 49 and minus 9y upon minus 27. Then we are going to apply the theorem on equal ratios. That means add these two in numerator and add these two denominators in denominator. Okay, so original ratios x upon 7 is equal to y upon 3 is same as 7x minus 9y upon, here there is a mistake, it should be what, 49 here minus 27. So here if you can't think of multiplying by minus 9 here, and suppose you have multiplied by 9, then also here you can apply the minus sign, no doubt. In theorem of equal ratios plus is there, okay, but still you can apply the minus sign here because you know that to subtract means to reverse and add. Okay, so subtraction is same as addition, only we have to change the sign. So even if you are multiplied by plus 9 here, then also you can write down minus sign. Okay, it should not that here you should multiply by minus 9, then only you can write the minus sign here. If you are getting the positive terms here, then also you can write down minus sign. Okay, so 7x minus 9y upon 49 minus 27. So 49 minus 27 is 22. That is our answer. And from 1 and 2 we can write down the fill-ups. Okay, this is first one, that is 36, and second one is 22. But you need to find it this way and then you have to write down the answer. Okay. Let us go further now towards the next question. I told that you can solve it by yourself by using the similar method. Okay. You have to multiply and divide by the constant number. Like here only a is present, so no need of multiplying here. Here minus 2b is present, so multiply both the places by minus 2. And here 3c is present, so multiply both the places by 3. Okay. And then use the theorem on equal ratios. Now here the numbers are given. So think here 3 and 6. 3 2s are 6. So first ratio has to be multiplied by 2. Here 2 4s are 8, but minus 8 is there. So I have to multiply here by minus 2. And 7 2s are 14. So here you have to multiply by 2. Okay, so here you are multiplying by 2. Here you are multiplying by minus 2. And here you are multiplying by plus 2. and then you are going to apply the theorem on equal ratios. Okay, so try to solve it. Let us go further now. Now this question is given here in this particular exercise, but here we are not making use of theorem on equal ratios. Okay, we can make use of theorem on equal ratios, no doubt, but still we can solve it by using the properties of componendo dividendo. You can see here like in previous exercise. So you can use those properties componendo dividendo here instead of using theorem on equal ratios. But for that purpose we need the ratio m upon n, which is not given directly here. Instead the equation is given. So by using that equation, first of all you need to find m upon n. So start with what is given to you. That is 5m minus n is equal to 3m plus 4n. Now let us equate the like terms. So this 3m we will shift on LHS and this minus n we will shift on RHS. So what we will get, 5m minus 3m is equal to 4n plus n. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So here the subtraction will be 2m and 4 plus 1 is 5. So here addition is 5n. So what we will get, 2m is equal to 5n. Now this 5 is present here number and here 2 is the coefficient. As I said, we want the ratio m upon n. So bring this n down here and take this 2 this side. So the ratio will become m upon n is equal to 5 upon 2, which we want. Now further, you know how to solve it by using componendo and dividendo. We have to make use of this ratio. Okay, so first one, how you will solve now? See, start with what is given to us or what we have found out. M upon n is equal to 5 upon 2. So we can square them. So what we got, m square upon n square is equal to 25 upon 4. You can see the squares are present here. So we also have squared it. Then we can use componendo dividendo. That means adding in numerator and subtracting in denominator. So m square plus n square upon n square minus n square is equal to 25 plus 4 upon 25 minus 4. That is 29 upon 21 is the answer. Also you can solve it by using the k method, as I have said. I told you that you can take m as 5k and n as 2k, and then you can substitute here directly and you can find out the answer. Okay, so solving in that way also is possible. So you can use any method, but only thing, as I have said, in place of m directly you cannot write 5. It's a ratio, it's in reduced form. It always has some common multiple. So make use of 5k and 2k. Then only you are going to get full marks. Otherwise you will get 0 marks. Okay. Similarly, you can solve the second one also. Now let us go further towards the third question, where you are going to use the theorem on equal ratios and you are going to find this. Okay. So see, what is the question? If a inside the bracket y plus z is equal to b inside the bracket z plus x is equal to c inside the bracket x plus y, and out of a, b, c, no two of them are equal. Why it is given? Because if they are equal, then this bracket is going to become 0 and the denominator will become meaningless. The equation will become meaningless. You know that we cannot divide by 0. That is why this condition is given. And this we want to show. This we want to prove. Okay. We have to start with what is given to us and we have to finish with this. So observation plays an important role here. Here you have to observe that here denominator is not present anywhere, but here you can see denominator is there. And in that denominator we have 3 alphabets A, B, C, or 3 constants A, B, C. So to bring them here, we have to divide each ratio by A, B, C. So first of all, start with what is given to you. And here, since we want denominator in the form of ABC, we are dividing by ABC to each and every ratio. Okay, so see, this first ratio divided by ABC, second one B into Z plus X divided by ABC, and C into X plus Y divided by ABC. So what you can observe here, A and A got cancelled. here B and B got cancelled and here C and C got cancelled, and we got the new ratios as y plus z upon BC is equal to z plus x upon AC is equal to x plus y upon AB. Okay. Now we have to observe one more thing here, that what changes are done in denominator. So here you can see, if we expand this, you will get AB minus AC. So see, this is AB and this is AC. These two are subtracted. That means theorem of equal ratios is used. So we will also make use of theorem of equal ratios. Okay, so by using that theorem on equal ratios, we can write down that each ratio is equal to, see, as I have said, I want AB minus AC. So I wrote AB minus AC in the denominator. I wrote denominator first, AB minus AC. Then what I have above AB, x plus y. So that is taken in numerator. Minus sign. And above AC I have z plus x. So that is written. So these two ratios are taken but in reverse order. AB minus AC. So x plus y minus z plus x. And always write in bracket, because you know that because of the minus sign outside, the changes, the signs are changing here. So here you will observe that plus x and minus x will get cancelled, and in the numerator you will get y minus z. See, that which we want. Okay, the term which we want, that we got here, y minus z. Now while writing this, again take out a common and write down in this form. Number this as 1. So we got the first ratio. Similarly, now we are going to apply the theorem for this. See, here if you expand, you will get BC minus AB. Okay, so BC minus AB, first ratio minus the second ratio, that we are going to do. BC minus AB. So y plus z minus x plus y. So here you will observe that y and y will get cancelled, and here you will get z minus x, and here while writing take out b common and then write down c minus a. Number this as 2. Similarly, find the third one where we have AC minus BC. Okay, so z plus x minus y plus z. So here z and z will get cancelled and you will get x plus y upon c inside the bracket a plus b. Again c is taken out common. So this 1, 2 and 3, they are values of each ratio. That means they all are equal. We can write down from 1, 2 and 3 that all these 3 are equal, which we want. That means hence we have proved that they are equal. Okay. So in this way you are going to solve the remaining sums. Like here also, see. This is easiest one. Here the 3 ratios are given and it is condition is given that x plus y plus z is not equal to 0. And value of each ratio is given to you, that we have to find out 1. So in the previous one the ratios were given. So we have done the necessary changes. But here directly we have to find 1. So to start with the given ratios and take them as equal to k. And directly go for the theorem on equal ratios. That means add all the numerators and add all the denominators, and that value is same as the original ratio, that is k, or you can write down each ratio. See, numerators are added, x plus y plus z, and here denominators are added, 3x minus y minus z, 3y minus z minus x, and 3z minus x minus y. So what you can observe here, see, these 3x minus x and minus x. So you will get 3x minus 2x, that is only x. Similarly 3y minus 2y and 3z minus 2z. So you will get here x plus y plus z in the denominator after subtracting the like terms. So x plus y plus z upon x plus y plus z we can cancel from both the sides and the answer is 1. And why we can cancel here? Because of the condition given, x plus y plus z is not equal to 0. Here plus sign should be there. Take a note of this. Okay. So similarly, you can solve all the sums. So do practice it. Best of luck for your exams. Prepare well and appear for the exam. Thank you, students.